We're joined by Eddie Hearn. The arena's just emptying out here. I think everyone just needs to catch a breath for a minute because that was an incredible night, so lively. First of all, your immediate reaction, Katie Taylor, first professional defeat, but what a massive win for Chantelle Cameron.
Yeah, it was quite trippy, wasn't it, seeing her lose. I thought it was a tremendous fight. I thought it was a close fight. I thought Chantelle deserved the victory. I could see a 5-5, but I think I had it 6-4 to Chantelle Cameron. So many close rounds as always, but she was the more consistent. She was the stronger in the fight. Katie looked so tired, even after in the first round. I don't know, she was standing up there for 5 minutes, soaking it all up, and just came out looking really flat. She actually got stronger as the fight went on. But Chantelle was really, like I said, consistent, strong, worked the body well, and I think a deserved winner tonight.
Do you put that down to maybe nerves, pressure? Katie Taylor, this was new for her, but what do you put that down?
I think you've got to always give the credit to the fighter in Chantelle Cameron. Yes, I'm sure she was nervous. Was it a draining experience? Maybe. Like I said, she looked tired, but Chantelle was excellent. She followed the game plan. She worked the body really well. She kept coming forward, and she gave up a lot to come here. She walked first. She came to Dublin and all these things because she knew that's what it was going to take to get the shot against Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor called her out. Katie Taylor went up in weight. She looked like the much smaller girl in there tonight. But it was just an unbelievable night. Another thrilling fight. Thrilling Katie Taylor fight that just caught fire time and time again. The atmosphere was the best I've ever experienced, and yeah, just another mad night of boxing.
Katie was worried about this homecoming slipping through her fingers. That's why she took to social media to call for this fight. I just asked Nigel, Travis and Jamie Moore this question, but what do you think Katie and Team Taylor miscalculated about the challenge of Chantelle?
We got to stop overthinking. When someone gets beat, you got to stop thinking about should they have taken the fight or what did they do right? Like you get beat. You get beat because you take challenges. It's like when Canelo lost to Dmitry Bivol. It's like, what did he take that fight for? Because he wanted to test himself. He wanted to challenge himself. And that's the same for Katie. Katie could have filled this place with a voluntary defence. She didn't want to. She wanted to try and become a two-division world champion. She's a legend, that's why. And Chantelle was bang up for it. And, of course, there is a rematch. Katie Taylor's not going to sleep till that rematch. She's going to be hurting every single day. And she's going to come back better, stronger. She'll believe she can win the rematch. It's going to be a tough task, but she's going to want it as soon as possible.
Chantelle said she'd go down to lightweight for that rematch.
Interesting. Talk about Canelo. Same kind of thing, really, where, Chantelle would have the... Don't forget, Katie is still the undisputed lightweight world champion. But at the same time, Chantelle could come down to lightweight and become a two-division undisputed world champion. So we'll talk to both teams, and but you're definitely going to see that one next.
Effectively for now, the Amanda Serrano fight very much on the breaks as well.
Yeah, that's going to not be around this year.
Let's talk about elsewhere on the card. Disappointing night for Gary Cully. Just watching ringside alongside Conor McGregor. What was your reaction to his defeat?
He wasn't very happy. He said to me, "What'd you put him in with him for?" I said, Gary was a massive favourite in that fight. Felix can punch, but if you're a world-class lightweight, you've got to be dealing with people like Jose Felix. Sandor Martin did last time. Tyrone McKenna did as well. And Gary got excited. He got carried away with the noise. He left his chin in the air and he traded up and he paid the price. It was a devastating loss for him. He's a young lightweight with a lot of support. He'll be back. He'll be back on that Katie Taylor card probably. And big learning curve for him tonight. Get carried away with the hype, get carried away with the noise, and you trade up. And in this game, anything can happen.
Do you think he might want to run that one back with Felix?
Yeah, possibly. Look, it was, it's a bit like, although with all due respect to Jose Felix, was never in the same league as Maurizio Lara. It's a bit like the Josh Warrington situation where you take what's supposed to be a relatively tune-up fight and you end up getting stopped and you want to rematch him. And then the rematch becomes almost career-ending if you lose that fight. So he's got to think carefully about the next one. We'll support him all the way and he'll be back. He's a quality fighter.
I think one of the best things about boxing and boxers is when you look at their story and they suffer defeats and they come back and they win big fights and they win belts. How proud can you be of JJ Metcalf tonight?
Unbelievable, because he's a great example to fighters about a couple of defeats mean nothing. If you're in great fights, you're going to get opportunities. He won on the road against Leharaja. He won in Leeds, and tonight he becomes IBO world champion. And some big fights out there for him at 154 pound, but the turnaround in his career has been quite amazing.
Keeping Jarko 11 months out the ring, probably never going to expect an explosive performance from him really against a decent opponent in Grant Dennis. How did you see it?
Yeah, I think he was a little bit flat towards the end. I thought he started well, very sharp. Hurt his hand a little bit in the fight, I think in the mid stages of the fight, but good to bank 10 rounds because it's going to be a tough test for him next. There's no hanging around. He's had that fight under his belt now, no excuse to move forward in bigger fights. Again, amazing moment for him, amazing atmosphere, and looks sharp enough, but plenty of improvements, and you'll see that in his next fight.
Tom Carty in a fun fight and a good win for Paddy Donovan and Maisie Rose as well.
Yeah, I mean, the heavyweight fight was great. Shout out to Jay McFarlane as well, because it takes two to make a fight like that. But Thomas boxed really well. He's got a big future. Maisie boxed well in a very close fight, you know, and she came here fighting an Irish girl who had everything to gain and had a great performance. But big learning experience for Maisie, and that was a tough fight for her in her third fight. And Paddy Donovan looked really sharp, you know, going to be looking to speak to Andy Lee and plan his future.
Just being at this fight night, Eddie, you've been involved in boxing for so many years, but when you looked around the corral here at ringside, you've got Alicia Baumgardner and Conor McGregor, and the list went on, Ariel Helwani. Been pretty special, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, it's been an amazing week. Honestly, probably the most enjoyable fight week I've ever had. You know, the welcome from the people here in Dublin, the excitement. They'll be disappointed, and, you know, I'm sure there'll be tail between the legs tomorrow, as there always is. Oh, it's the end for Irish boxing, and, you know, but we'll be back very soon, and we'll run this back here, and it'll be another amazing night.
There was a moment a little bit earlier on, just behind me here, between Mr. Conor Benn and Kell Brook as well. Is that a fight that you're interested in making?
Yeah, I mean, there's already a lot of talk about that fight. We're in negotiations for another fight with Conor Benn as well, but you know, those two don't particularly like each other. There's been a lot of chat online, and I wasn't there. I saw what you saw, and yeah, it will be a great fight.
We roll on, as we always do, into next week, straight into Manchester, a massive night in the career of Leigh Wood.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge fight. I mean, we've had a couple of unbelievable weeks, and Manchester next week's going to be electric. Maurizio Lara try and defend against Leigh Wood, kind of last chance saloon for Leigh Wood. Needs to win that fight, you know, wanted the rematch. He's rolled the dice again. Terry Harper, of course, will be on that card as well. Jack Catterall in a great fight with Darragh Foley, and another massive card in Manchester.
Final question from me, Ed. If we do see the rematch next between Katie and Chantelle, looking very likely. Chantelle says she wants that at home, but do you think that could be an option for Croke Park?
It's difficult, you know, when you can hit the gate that you hit here. But, you know, we'll speak to the Chantelle's team and Katie's team, and we'll see where that will take place.
Great stuff, Ed. Thanks, man.